So I want to shift gears slightly from uh, because you come from the world of marketing, Aditya, right?
Mhm.
So do you feel that there is a specific approach that marketers tend to take? For example, the whole CAC to LTV mindset. Do you feel is it more of a marketing legacy, or is it like if product people approach retention, how would they do? What I'm driving at is retention ultimately becomes the problem of the whole company.
Correct.
And so how do all the different teams collaborate, and who's going to do what in the whole game to make that happen? Can you talk about that in your experience?
Sure. So the framework I look at things, right, like whether it's acquisition, retention, or even say win back. Let's say customers have churned out and you're trying to win them back. Is what are you trying to? What's the product that you're pitching? What's the value that you're trying to communicate? How are you communicating it, right? Like, taking the Apple example again, the way they communicate their value is also very unique among other all mobile phone makers or laptop makers. Uh, the second piece is kind of like, where do I place those interventions, or where do I insert myself into the customer's larger life and the world that they live in. And yes, in retention, product tends to be the predominant channel for this, right? Because a lot of like marketing channels are not, you've already acquired them, so you're not going to try and reacquire them unless it's win back. But a lot of it happens to happen through the product or communicating what your product has, whether it's through email or stuff like that, right? So for me, it's that, right? It's even if it's product, it sits inside this larger thinking around who is my segment, what do I need to communicate. If say to take the Canva example again, if like I identify a group of users who are not using the product at the frequency or the depth that I am hoping to, or they're below par, what do I first is we've identified the segment, what do I want to communicate with them. The second is how do I reach them, right? And that is through the product, right? So
Right.
right, so it can almost be agnostic in that sense, right? If it's a product leader or a marketing leader or a customer success leader even who is looking or owning retention, it should not the framework for thinking of this is kind of agnostic around how you talk to the customer or where your communication lands in front of their eyeballs.
So it's almost like what I'm hearing you say is irrespective of who does it, and this can vary from company to company based on how they are used to thinking about this. But it seems like the core of whole retention is no matter who does the communication should be structured around making value visible, right? Especially value that has
Correct.
already been delivered to the user. And if
Yeah.
somehow they've kind of missed it, right?
Yeah.
Or they have downplayed it,